Welcome back to Pro Bikini News Network. I'm your host, John L. Gandy, and in today's video, we're going to be recapping the Battle of the Bay Pro and the Asian Championships. We're also going to be previewing the Argentina Pro and the China Pro, which will be our last shows of this year. 115 shows in the year of 2025. How crazy is it that it's coming to an end? Well, unfortunately, there are not going to be any shows to talk about, but I am going to continue to do Q&As, and I did have a special guest, which I did record yesterday, the other day. We got nationals this week, so I'm going to do my Q&A. I know the women go on Friday, so hopefully I'll have that video out Thursday at the earliest, and going to talk about some of the questions that you guys submitted. You guys submitted some really good questions. Some I'm going to answer, and yes, I am going to look over some of the names that you guys submitted for the NPC Nationals for Bikini and Fit Model. I'm just going to look over them and just give a quick assessment of them. I'm not going to be, like I said, not going to be too harsh and very critical on amateurs. They've been doing this for years. There's some of them have won overalls, have won classes, and I think they can be ready for anything that they go to the national level. So I don't do that as much on here, so I'm just going to let you guys know that. Also, we're going to go over some news that has been talking about since the beginning of this week and my thoughts on it. But first and foremost, congratulations to Ashley Kaltwasser on win number 54. I mean, 14 years she's been competing in the pro league, and it's just amazing just to see a milestone that she's doing. Now she's headed to South America and Argentina. I even remember telling her at the Resorts World, like, you've won a show in almost every continent. I don't think you've won a show in South America. And she hasn't. And I said, have you thought about Mexico the following week? She got thought about it. And like, I don't think she's ever been to Brazil. And I thought, and how crazy. Now, if she wins this show in Argentina, she's won a show every hemisphere. I mean, I have to probably look at the list. She's won in 11 different countries. And if I would have to I'm going to write that list down, probably talk about it next week, but 11 different countries she's won in all around the world. It is just crazy to think about. I mean, people going against her, this is a legend right here. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity to go against. And the reason why I'm saying this is that it touches on the topic of Sean Clarita, who's going to be doing the 212 in the China show. So he's qualified for life in 212, and he just won the Japan Open Pro Show, and he's qualified for both Open and the 212. But unfortunately, he can only do one of them, and most likely he'll do 212, where he can actually do well and compete against the guys. Versus in the Open, as great as the physique he has, and with his structure, he's just in his frame, he would probably get overlooked. But he did win the Legion Pro in 2021, and he qualified for both. Yeah, I mean, pros can dabble in any other division. We've had guys in Classic do well in open shows, and we've had people in men's physique go to, and that's the best part. People can go and dabble in other divisions. Going from bikini to figure, that's when you've maxed out the whole category. But I think people go and try other divisions just to see how they would do. We've seen people in fitness, they can probably do figure, and we've seen people in figure go up to physique and then up and up and up, just try different things out. So he's one of the best in the world. He's a two-time 212 Olympia champion, and people are complaining that he's taking away qualifications. It's like, there's not many. I get it, where it's like, there's not many 212 shows. There's not many open shows because the sanction fees a lot. The cost of the show's a lot. The prize money's more. So, and unfortunately, not many 212 shows are in America. I did look at the 2026 schedule. So, I mean, most of the shows for those divisions that have more sanction fees and more prize money, they're going to be going overseas because it's expensive to have that kind of a show in the USA. So I understand that, but it's kind of going to that thing with Ashley Kaltwasser, where it's like she continues to compete. She's qualified for life. And, people don't ever get that opportunity to go against some of these top girls, to go against these top competitors, because they only show up one time a year. Like, they prep all year just to show up one time. Bikini, you see girls compete a lot. And I always keep thinking what Angelica did and what Ashley's done, even if they're already qualified and they're qualified for life for Olympia, they continue to compete. No one complained about Angelica doing the AGP or the Arnold Australia, and she won the Arnold in the year she defended her title successfully. No one complained about that, but Ashley does. It's a big deal. Is it going to come down with, there's less shows, which I was happy about, but I don't know how many are going to be overseas. I think about maybe 16, 20. But then another thing is, it's going to be hard for people to qualify because now they got to travel. But guess what? People in the US have to travel. So it'll really show who's going to qualify. And speaking of that, I'm going to continue our topic, but we are in December, and I'm also going to touch upon the Battle Up media show, but we are in December. And guess what? We have 38 girls qualified. We already got 11 up here, and And some people are asking, why is Ashley on the points and why aren't you putting her up there? I'm like, she's qualified for life. She just has something the pro league know. But you have Ashley. Laura Lee needs to declare to the IFBB Pro office in Pittsburgh. Is back. And now you have a bunch of girls in points that are qualified, and these ones that are in asterisks, that means they've won a pro show. So they just have to win another show. And it's just going to be a matter of, picking your right shows, playing, got to play this game like X's and O's and see where you're going to win and where you're going to qualify at and where you're going to be competitive at. So, I mean, in the men's physique, same thing, classic physique, same thing. You got to win two of them jokers to go and qualify. Or if you win the Arnold, the Pittsburgh or New York, which is most likely going to be one of our top girls and some of our top girls in it, you got to win just that one time. And yeah. So I would like to see people compete. It's supposed to be competitive. It's supposed to be fun. And that's what makes it more exciting. We're rooting for that underdog and we're rooting for that person to go and, you see that person that's just consistent and just keep going. It's like, you want that person you want that person to make it. I remember when people were telling Jen Dory to stop, competing and just go into an off season when she qualified for her first Olympia back in 2018. And I'm like, the only people that are giving her a hard time are Ashley and Laura Lee at the time. And Jen did not even win her first pro show until her third year as a pro. And she qualified on points in her first two Olympias. She got 10th and she got top 5 and she wound up beating Ashley. So, people who get to go against these top girls, it gets them recognized. And that's and we're going to get back to that going into this Argentina show. But yeah, you thought it was going to be less people. I still think we're going to get better. I still think there should be another tier where it's like the little baby shows. If they had a little more, they got to win 3 of those. But I do like the fact you have to win 2 to qualify. But I think that there should be a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, just to narrow it down with so many shows, especially with overseas. But I mean, you guys can leave your comments and tell me what you think about that. But I also wanted to get to the Battle Up Productions. I gotta say, Freddie, that was one of the biggest amateur shows of this year. 800 competitors. That's more than any other show. That Winter Classic in Illinois, my coach, Jarek, he did a guest posing with a fitness competitor. It was amazing to see. It was cool. That show is exciting. It's great for the fans. And also that Minnesota show with the black backdrop. I think Becky was judging it. They loved it. Even Mike Rateni from Unchained Physiques, when he has his own show, he does have a pro show, which will be the last qualifier for 2026 Olympia. But shout out to Freddie. I mean, there's a reason why people will go to Texas Pro, because he puts on an awesome show. That rhymes. Just saying. I mean, everybody looks good here. I think this is Bikini. Yeah. Even the fit model girls look good here. I know this image is kind of blurry, but it does really look great. The LED screens above, you have that. That was, well, even my teammate did Texas Pro this year and he said he loved it. Zay, I think this guy won the overall in both Open and in Classic. He's been at national shows for some time. But yeah, shout out to them. They're awesome. Hell yeah, I won't do one of Freddie shows. And I really think Battle Up Productions and Gilco should be the standard for videography, photography at every show. Like, that's what people should want. People are going to look at this show one day and go, and when they look at their video and they're going to see how they looked on stage, I go, damn, I look really good. Man, that looked really, like, the way I was treated, the way the fans like it, the way the promoters put it on. There's a reason why people go back to this. And there's a reason why people are going to do all those shows when they know that the people behind it and the fans appreciate it. That's what means more. But anyways, we're going to get into, let me fix this screen here. I don't know why it keeps doing that. We're going to get into Battle of the Bay. So we're going to go over our top 5 there. I'm going to look at also their videos. I think Spectrum has them as well. I think they have the top. We're going to go over the top 5. Let's see, let me scroll down. See, here we go. Yep, top 6. So I'm going to go over the top 5. So let's go into our 5th place, which was Aisha. Let's show the video of her. And this was her rookie season. Like, I love this purple suit on her. She's a natural competitor, so I think for her, and she's about 5'6", 5'7", she just needs to fill out her frame. It just needs more glutes, more shoulders, just like more of everything. She's got a beautiful look, and I was happy to see her progressing. She went from like 12th, 8th into the first call out, and then I think she was looking at like being the outside the top five, but then she moved into the top five and she was really happy with the result. I know that she's happy with her, and she has a big fan base. I think the biggest star of this Battle of the Bay show was her. Like they were commend to Ashley. I mean, Ashley's obviously the goat. Everyone was talking about her, but outside of Ashley, they were talking about Aisha the most because I think she's young, and obviously they were happy to see her keep moving up and keep progressing. And I definitely think, hey, finishing your season in a 5th place as a rookie, that's phenomenal. And I definitely think that she is going to just contribute. Like I said, she's young and she just needs to fill out her frame and just grow into it. I do love her posing and stage presence. She's really good at that right there. Let me pause it right here. Like I just think, she's really lean. She just needs to fill out. And when she trains, she's always in like baggy, like body bag shirts and like baggy pants. And she's awesome on TikTok as well. But look at her. She's like happy to be there. She's smiling. Like that's what you need to have. You need to have that confidence in like going on stage. But yeah, I just feel like for her, she just, if I'm going to pause right here, just needs more of everything. Just a little more of everything. Just needs to fill out and obviously have the separation of like where it's not like her hamstrings and her glute inserts are like all one. This pose is really good on her, and I'm actually gonna stop right here and then pull up her front just as a standstill. See here. I mean, the photos and videos are really good here. I did not like that reddish in the background, like this whole lightning and stuff. And so I had to find like the right photo where it's like at the right moment. But everything I like about her hair, her makeup, suit, nothing's like too distracting. I think this color is really great on her right there. So yeah, like I said, I feel like she could maybe fix her arm placement and just be a little more upright. She has a longer torso, so that's one thing. Like she, as long as it's like your hand's not going way too much in the center. But great showing from her. So let's get into her back. Hair is great, covers her back connector. That's really well done. Suit cut's great. Like I said, I feel like she just needs to, have more, at least her she has great glutes. She has shorter glute inserts. So everything about her, she just needs to bring up. She needs to bring up everything, just more width up top. She's really snatched in the back. But yeah, I just think, and you could see how like lean she is when you see that little deep cut in her hamstring right there at the moment. I know you kind of saw in the video bit, but like I said, she just needs to fill out her frame. And yeah, it's going to take more time. And with a good off season, I think she can come into an early show, and we'll see how it goes. Let's go into our 4th was Irene from Spain. So I think this was probably her best placing in a USA show. In the past, she's always been top 10, like 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. I mean, this year she's been 3rd, 4th, 5th, and, ending the season on a 4th place, getting up there in the points. I definitely think that she keeps improving. I mean, I think she's found her rhythm and her tune. I think for her, sometimes it's how she does her front post kind of throws her off and just needs to fill out more. But I definitely like how she's brought everything up. Sometimes you be like all vascular. I think if she could just fix this front pose just a little bit, come in just a little bit more fuller in her legs, definitely is something that you can see her continuing to improve on. Also in her back, I feel like she's just kind of like too close with her feet, just a little bit like of a wider stance would help her. Also, she needs a smaller suit in the back because it is a little too high. You can see more fabric. Actually, no, it's not. It's the lighting. It's the lighting that throws me off. I'm bad. I take that back. I just think she needs to like come in fuller and peaked. Because sometimes you see her adductors. I'll let it play back again. But I like the beautiful look. I think it's like a pink suit, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Yeah, it's a pink suit. Do it again. Great look from her. I know she was smiling because of her last name being Iravedra with an I. She was standing right next to Ashley Kaltwasser. So, hey, you got to be compared with one of the best in the world. And sometimes when she walked back, you could see her adductors. I think I'm just going to do videos for them versus looking at photos. Because like I said, photos are different than what you see in videos. But in person is much different, right? 3rd, we had Tara. I definitely think her front pose has improved so much, and her waist has gotten much better in the past versus in the past. Tan's really good on her too. I love her hair. I just still think she just needs more legs and just more glutes. It's kind of like always been her thing. But I definitely think her back pose is really like one of the best parts. I definitely think she had one of the best back poses, comparable to the top 2 girls. I had her in 2nd, but I'm happy to see her like end the year with this one. If I was to say anything, I definitely think maybe just a little bit more hamstring. It's not that bad. I mean, she's got great width, hair is great, suit cut's great. I just do sometimes think you sometimes see her like losing glute fullness up top. That's sometimes I feel like it's a peaking thing for her. She has to like nail it like on the day on spot. And that just comes down to like the timing and everything. So it was back to back prejudging and final. So sometimes it's like you got to just find a way to nail that and like really hit it. And I definitely think her and her coach Ashley is finding that out, and definitely can say she's gonna definitely go back into the next year and go for some wins. I definitely think they've really improved a whole lot, and bringing things together and like finding what's going to work and making sure her front is just as good as her back. And as long as she continues to do that, I definitely think Tara is going to do very well many years and like in the following months, and definitely get an Olympia qualification after winning 2 shows. I definitely think that any show that she's in, she's someone to be looking out for. Second was had Yulia. I definitely love, this is one of my favorite looks that she's brought all year, and I love the suit that she brought here. I think if I'm looking at her front, she just needs to be just a little bit more upright. Like she's really good in the back. I sometimes think she's just a little bit too hard, if I was to say anything. Another thing is like having waist control as well. I think she came in a little too lean. Like you could see like the like how hard her quad is. She just needs to fill out. She needs to find a way to just fill out, like, and obviously have more in her shoulders as well. I definitely think that she can match her shoulders to everything else. It's really great physique that she brings. I mean, right there, you're standing next to Ashley, so you gotta bring it. You gotta bring it at your best. So in front, I would say just needs to be fuller, more shoulder, and then just a little more tighter in the waist. Her back is pretty solid as well, but her back pose is really strong, even against Ashley and Tara. All right. So that's Yulia. Then we have Ashley. Definitely much improved from the Olympia. I think that's kind of the smallest I've seen her waist go, and it's just hard to beat Ashley from the back. But nice and simple and to the point. This is actually a really good front pose on her. And sometimes we always give Ashley like her front pose can either like make or break her. But like all year, like she kind of had like a flat look, which was, it was not always her. The shows that she won was like maybe at least a good 90-95%. It wasn't like really off, but it was just enough to like carry her to win. But at the Olympia, I feel like she came in just a little bit small. Like she always keeps saying, "I'm small, I'm small, I'm small." Um, she came in like a little bit flat. Her hamstrings were not at their best. I do think, looking at this, they are a little improved. Well, keep in mind, she hadn't been on stage since October, so taking 2 months and then coming back. So from the front, like I feel like that's what she did. But the tie-ins are good. The conditioning's on point. I don't, like I said, I don't think she was in the best condition at the Olympia versus what you're seeing here. The fullness that she brought was pretty much on point. Like, so I think she nailed the peak pretty good here. Through it again. So I'm looking at shoulders to glutes to like everything, shoulder, elbow to glute. Everything's like right there in line. How she does this front pose. She's not vacuuming. It does look like, but she's not. I think what she's trying to do is find different peaking methods and obviously changing up the what she's eating. I think that was one thing that I feel like, because sometimes she would have her hand like this on her abs. You normally see like her palm, like her knuckles, like go like that. But this time she's kind of more relaxed, like having her fist out. So I kind of noticed that she's doing things a little differently. But yeah, it was good. Great package, makeup, hair, suit. I mean, it's Ashley, so not because it's Ashley, but I think Ashley brings it when she's on, she's on. When you see something that's off, it's really prevalent. So congratulations to her on win number 54. And also, we're going to now move on to the Asian Championships. So we do have our top 4. I'm going to go over the 5th place girl as well. Okay, so in Asia, we had, let me pull up. This was like a really long show, and this show was freaking awesome. I'm trying not to get demonetized for playing anything, so I'm going to go here. But when they had the athlete introductions, that was sick. Like, this is why you want to go to these shows. And when they were doing the awards, they were like people one by one giving gifts. Like one person gave gift, another person gave gift, walked off. Another person gave gift, walked off. They were giving all these nice gifts to the winner. Like, that makes you feel special. That makes you want to do these shows. The stage lighting, the production. I mean, wow. Even the fans were excited for it. And I feel like people in the US got to go to these shows out in Korea, got to go to these shows in Taiwan, China, Japan. Obviously Japan wasn't the best this year, but this kind of show is just amazing. Now the commentators were speaking and I don't know what the language is. Is it Taiwan? Is it Taiwanese? But they were speaking that language for the commentator. But Sally was our winner, and I gotta say that was just amazing how everyone looked and everything. I think it's much better if I see it on her page. See, here you go. That looks cool. That is awesome, and I like how it's more focused on the athlete versus that backdrop. I'm not looking at that backdrop as much as I'm looking at her most of the time. But I do like the intros that they do with the country in some videos and stuff. I mean, just looking at these, I'm like, wow, they look great. And shout out to MK. That is awesome how they come out. I mean, this quality video is great. Obviously, there's people with the videos. It's like a whole like production. I guarantee they're using those Komodo cameras, which are like just as much as a car, like almost $25,000 USA, USD. That is cool. And she's awesome. And I didn't even know she could speak. And I was kind of nervous to talk to her. I said hi briefly, but I was kind of like nervous. But I'm like, now I know that she can speak. I'm like, oh wow. And she's great English. Okay, so we're gonna go over the top 5. So I was so bad. I was bad. I was gonna botch this name up, but I asked her. Her name is Eve. Um, Great physique, amazing look. I think for her, she just needs to. I feel like she came in just a little too flat. I do think she just needs to fill out her frame. That's something you need to see with some of the Asian girls. Either come in way too small or way too lean and hard. But I feel like for her, she just needs to, fill out more. And this is a good look for her. She has a shorter torso, longer legs, longer arms. So one thing is just bringing all that detail in. Got great shoulder. I love her smile. I love the hair. I think she could use like a blue suit color. I feel like her skin tone's a little too light for this pink, so I think a more darker color would complement her better. This pose is good. I would lower this hand just a little bit just for her. But great package from Eve from the front. In the back, I feel like that's where she needs to fix a lot. Now, keep in mind, there were not many back shot photos. There were just so many of them, but there was most of her movement. She's standing way too wide. I feel like she needs to bring her feet just a little in, and she just needs to fill out. Like I said, she needs to just fill out. She's a little like flat and little flat in the front. Like her upper body is great, but it's just her lower body needs to match that. If I was to say anything, it just needs to more upper outer glute, fixing obviously how she's posing. I feel like she's too wide. Her hands are going a little way out. If she does those tweaks here and there, I definitely think that she's going to be keeping on improving it. But she's got a beautiful look. She's got an amazing look. I mean, all these girls from Asia have amazing physiques. So should I see the video? Let me see the video if they compared. Let me put this in 1000, 1080, 60. Why don't I do close-ups of them all first? Wait. Hold on. Let's go to, here we go. Here's final 4, right? Here we go. Pause. So we have Sally, we have Nataya, A Song Moon, and then we have Yu Yanga. So instantly they move Nataya and Yu Yanga. So in the beginning of the callouts, they had Sally and Yu Yanga splitting center. I love how it gets like, you can see the definition. So let's pause it when they get break there. Okay, here we go. Pause. So I'm focusing on these two because those were our top 2 girls. Yu Yanga's been they were like top 2, and I think was it the Japan show. So how she's doing her front pose was not consistent. Amazing physique. Her delts are just a little too big. That's the one thing I'm looking at the most. When I'm looking at Sally, everything is proportionate to her. A Song, I think she's better off in the blue suit. She did win a natural pro qualifier, but I don't think she could have gotten here. So she's doing open shows, and she's doing well in open shows as a natural athlete. She took 3rd here. And then you have Nataya. I think she just needs to match her lower body to her upper body. So in the back, I think Sally's really spot on with that. Yu Yonga's really good in the back. She has amazing genetics. She's got great width. But once again, I feel like it's like her shoulders is the first thing I'm looking at first. This is good. This is good on Nataya. I do think she's just a little too tight in her hamstrings. A Song just needs better. She just needs to nail the conditioning. See, they swap anybody. And you're looking at Sally. She's smiling most of the time. So keep note, ladies. Smile. Be happy to be there. So they're gonna walk them back. I definitely think these two keep their glute fullness much better. The projection that you see on them stands out the most, and especially from you seeing this angle. A Song needs more glute. She just needs to be a little bit more fuller in so it's like her hamstrings are not like the first thing that's jumping out at you. You gotta also one thing. She's keeping her core tight. Sometimes she's bringing herself in. Another thing is like posing conditioning. Conditioning doesn't mean, how lean or if you're in shape or not or how much fat. It's also your posing. You got to keep doing that, and you got to be confident on that. The most confident one you can see really stands out. So then let them go off. Let's look at them individually. Should I? Yeah. Do they do finals with them? All right. So we're going to be talking about, we'll go over the China Pro because we do have some of the girls that, we do have a couple girls that were in that show that are going to be in that China show. We do have a couple of Olympians in it. It's a small list. So we're going to go over that quickly. Battle of the Bay. I actually wanted to show results for Battle of the Bay. Let's see how we did. So 76%. It wasn't too bad. China was outside the top 10. She placed 16th. Stacy with her new coach got 12th. So that's great improvement. She looks way improved. Irene wound up in 4th. And she got 5th. So let me see. Let me do this. So essentially 75%. I was accurate. All right. Tara wound up in 3rd. Eureka was outside top 5. She got 8th. I got 2nd. AC what got 7th. Tiana got right. Ashley got right. So outside. So I think the first call out, I pretty much nailed it. But how they placed was in totally different order. So yeah, I guess I'm kind of right. Now we have Argentina. This is going to be a tricky one, but I'm going to go over the Huanji China Pro. So let's go to that. Go. So notables, we just saw Yu Yanga. She's taken second a couple times. She's done pretty well. Alina's taken second. She took 4th. Xinyi Shen. Her name was Xinyi, but now she goes by Cynthia. She got 9 points, by the way. And I know people are thinking it's 2 different people. No, it's the same person. Natalia, we did talk about. Jill Merritt Smith, she took 6. I think Eugenia was a Olympian, if I'm not mistaken. But I think I would go with Yuyanga, Alina, Xinyi, Natalia, Jill, and Hannah. Hannah, she took second in what was the show that Kazakhstan to Wubai? So let's see Hannah. This is Hannah. I think she's James's athlete. Beautiful look to her. I think she actually turned pro at the Kazakhstan show last year, and then she competed the next day. So we see mostly her outside of US versus, in US. But if she can get to American soil, I'd like to see what she looks like and compete against. Got a great physique. Just needs to be tighter, right? So Hannah, let's see. Yeah, Eve is in here as well. So we just talked, Eve is here. So I just think it's just fixing her back pose and just coming more fuller. Xinyi, she took second and third in US shows. Amazing physique, but I do feel like she just needs to fix her front pose. But she did. She took 3rd to those 2. In this show, she took 6th. Pink's fine. I know Xinyi by her red suit. So I'd stick to that. I'd prefer in red. Xinyi. Or Cynthia now. Yuyanga. Like I said, she has such an amazing physique. And she won 2 shows last year. She won Japan and China at the end of the year. So she would have qualified if there was a point that she would have qualified. There's nothing I did show from the last show. Just think she needs to fix her front and just, bring her shoulders down to match her physique. And then we have Ina. So I'd say between Xinyi, Alina, or Yuyanga, but I would say right now Alina could be the girl to beat. She did take second to Amy Delgado, and she has fixed everything in her front pose. So, and if she can just fix her back and not come in way too tight, she took the big man. She took second to Amy, not that show. This is the big man. She looked way better here than she did in Madrid. But I think, like I said, I would just have a different makeup because I'm just looking at her lips first. If I'm not the first one or the last one to say this, she looks like Adriana Lima and Irina. I forgot her name. Imagine if those 2 were in one, Irina Shaikh or something like that. Imagine if you took those 2, put them in one, you get Alina right there. So that goes for China. So we have the Argentina Pro. So our frontrunner is obviously Ashley. We just talked about her. Ashley's going to be the girl to beat. And you know what? People are saying how she shouldn't, do all these shows. But you know what? These girls that are from South America, like I'm seeing a lot of Brazil and Argentina. They get a chance to go against the best in the world. And one thing we've said this was not many people get an opportunity to compete, to see Ashley or even compete against her. So why not? I'm going to go over some of these competitors, but I'm going to say it's an honor for anybody to do that. I mean, to stand right next to her, to go against her, to even learn, like it's a great experience because let's be honest, how many people can get to the Olympic stage, or how many people are going to get an opportunity to see a Miss Bikini Olympia compete and do a show with them? Not many. So instead of like, oh man, it's Ashley, it's like, you know what? She's one of the best. I want to be one of the best eventually one day. I want to be right there compared to her. And you know what? Luck of the draw, Brenda, who's going to be doing her pro debut, is getting to go against Ashley because of her last name. She's going to be standing right next to her in the lineup. I did go over Brenda, I think, back in that Brazil show in November. I thought she was doing it, but it turns out she was doing this show for her debut. Now I've looked at now. She has been sending updates and everything, but like I said, it's going to be different on show day. But if I can remember what she looked like at that Arnold versus now, she's way more improved, and she's brought everything up since April. Let me see. I'm going to find her Arnold. Here you go. I think for her, she just needs to fill a frame. You do see some like leanness in her quads, but what you're seeing here as an amateur, and winning the overall is way different than what you're seeing now. I'm looking at her like almost like a 2021, 2022 Amy Delgado, and that seems to be the physique she's gravitating towards. Man, that is a whole lot of improvements. Small waist, everything. And these Brazil girls got some insane genetics. So I think she'll do pretty good here. Nivea is an Olympian. I think she's almost like a younger. She has an Ashley-like physique. Okay, here we go. So I think someone who's going to be very comparable is going to have a physique almost similar to Ashley, and I definitely think that she will most likely take second, or be right there to go for it. I definitely think it's very comparable to Ashley K. But the thing is, she's more wider in the back than Ashley is, more snatched in the back. So she took third in her last show, right? Lillian. Oh wow, Lillian's here. She turned pro last year at Nationals. I think she did her debut. Anything from on stage? I love her hair. I think from Nationals. I can only judge if it, I don't. I mean, she is a pro, but I only want to judge her pro photo, like her stage photos. Okay, here we go. Amazing from the back. Could use a little more tighter in the condition. And this is not the best photos. Just could be a little more. If I was to say one thing, condition. Okay. Bruna, she turned pro actually in Argentina last year, sometime around the end of this time, and then she did her debut in the Brazil Olympia, which was 1 week after Olympia, which she took second to Sharon, and then she won that Brazil show, and now she just needs one more win to qualify. Let's see. Here we go. I think for her, she just needs more glutes. Upper body is good. She could fix her hand placement here. Makeup could be better. I think she could maybe do a different color, but the red's fine on her. I think she needs to fix it because you're kind of getting a little more side boob right here. And it's amazing in the back, but obviously glutes is going to be one thing. And she could just do a little more width up top, but she's really good. She's got a beautiful look to her. Front pose is good. But I noticed in this show here, a lot of these girls are like new pros. They just like turned pro, or like this is like their rookie season. So Valentina, she's done pretty well in shows. She's made top 10. But she's young. She's only 21 years old. I feel like, here we go. I just think she needs more time and more size. I mean, she's amazing from the front. But come on, you're in your home country. You get to compete with Ashley. You got to compete with Amy and Ashley for your first season. Hey, it's all learning experience. But I actually learned about this. She turned pro at 19, just before her 20th birthday. And then this year she's 21, and she's competing on stage at 21. So like I said, these girls are young, and they're just going to have to learn. And you know what? Why not go against Ashley and see what you got to do to improve on that and just get better on that? So I do think she could possibly do very well. I don't know top 5, but I definitely think she can do well. We'll just have to see what they go for. And Mariana, she's done pretty good in shows. I think she took a second before. I don't know if she did. She did do that Paris show. She was just, I think, 6th, 7th, 8th. I'm not sure. The photos and everything that they did from the show looks so much better than the videos and everything. I don't know. She was 5th in the show. Definitely like that look better. You know anyone else? Yeah, these 22 years old. They're kids. Well, they're adults, but they're young. She just turned pro recently. I mean, they're like I said, you're going to see a lot of, you're going to see the level of experience with Ashley than someone who's a new pro. But hey, genetics are everything in the sport. You'll never know if someone's going to be genuinely exceptional. Some of the best Argentinian athletes. I mean, Romina, Ivana, Escandar. People don't know that Evie's from Argentina but lives in Spain. And then what's her name? Forgot her name. She was Argentinian. I know that Barrios guy that's in 212, who's like seventh at the Olympia, who won New York Pro. He lives in Brazil. Insane genetics. Like I can look at someone and I can obviously he needs to fix the back post. Obviously, it's going to be a lot of this is all going to be a learning experience for them. Let's see, Ariel. I think she did her debut in the Argentina show. We didn't get stage photos from that, unfortunately. So I can't. No, there's not much information on some of them. Like I said, they're all new pros, but oh man, it's going to be hard to pick a top five. So I mean, I could probably put a prediction, but I'm probably not because it's going to be the last show. So I'll say Ashley. I'm going to say Nevea, Bruna. I'm going to go Brenda. I'll say Mariana. And I'll put Valentina. I think that'll be my top six. But I'm curious to see. I think Steve DeVore is going to be head judge here. So we'll see how it goes. All right. That is my episode for this week. This is my last time to preview shows before we have the Arnold. Actually, no, we have the Fit Model Pro show in Japan. And I'm hearing about a lot of people doing that show. We're going to have at least 30 girls already doing it. So it's crazy. And people are starting prep. I mean, they're already 12 weeks out. I mean, it's like you're thinking about like already like we're 12 weeks out. It's like, holy crap. So we have the Fit Model. We have our first ever Fit Model Pro show, which I'm going to cover that in February. And then we have the Arnold the following week. So it's going to be really exciting to see that. But I'm going to have a lot of guests on here. And I'm also going to continue to do the Q&Ras just for you guys and to continue putting out content and, obviously continue to cover what's going on in the news and stuff and talk about things. But yeah, that'll be all. That's my episode for today. So thank you guys so much. Like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.